Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Charles, and today I'm just going to give a quick overview of we'll call it my sim room, gaming room, hobby room, my room. We're going to call it my room. Uh, we're in the doorway now. You can probably hear the echo because that's still a thing. But let me back out of the room and then come back in, and I'll show you what I got. Ta-da! All right, I'm going to widen this view out just so you can see everything that's in here. This is basically everything that's in here. It's not a very big room. It's only about maybe 11, 12 by 12-ish or so in this main area. So we're going to start from right to left. So over here, we've moved the desk that originally housed my monitors, and it is now basically a 3D printing desk. One of my old laptops there, an older laptop in that bag, obviously a seat, some other little goodies on here, my headphones. But again, the 3D printer, that's basically where it's going to live now. Nothing really fancy or special there. It's an Ender 3 Pro 3D printer. Lately, I've been using it to print caps, and I'll show you those in a minute. Batman curtains, because why not? You'll see up here we have this fill light. It's a Viotech, I believe it's called. Viltrox. God, I keep getting it wrong. But it's actually, it and its brother over here they came in a two-pack. I found them on Amazon. I actually got a good deal. They were under the used section. When you go to Amazon, you can actually say buy from these sellers, and sometimes it'll be used. These were used as in used like new with a description of never been opened, but they were about $70 off the original price. So I scooped those up, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you can actually see the individual LEDs on camera, but you can in life. But they even come with this handy dandy remote, just like that. And I can use it to turn it on and off. And if we look here, I can also change the brightness and make it really bright. That's only 40. So they will get pretty bright. We're going to turn it back down. I actually have it on its lowest setting, which is about 20%. I don't know why you can't go lower than 20. You can also change your color, your temperature. So you got 39, 40, and you can see the light is getting cooler as the temp goes up to 5,600. Some other ones out on the market go to 6,000. I really didn't need it for anything fancy. It's basically just to light me up if I'm sitting in the chair. So that's cool. That'll go there. And then next to it, I have my Canon T6i on this little tripod mount. I actually haven't been using the Canon, and we're going to do some testing today where I'm actually using my phone instead, because I think that'll actually work out better. What else? So I guess back to the main rig. This is my GT Omega Prime cockpit and my homemade triple monitor stand. So the GT Omega Prime, I did a video on that already, so nothing new there. I didn't change anything. I did add a Track Racer adjustable keyboard tray. So that's that. I also bought this little tablet mount and then just drilled out one of the mounting holes. This is normally for like a wall, but I just drilled out one of the mounting holes and threw a T-nut in the back of it and bolted it to the stand, and that's that. That's just my other laptop, which is actually running all three monitors. That's a pretty neat trick. And I'll get to that in a second. So the other things we've got a couple other little blue lights. Well, they're RGB, but right now they're blue. And the reason for that is, so if I turn off my main light and I come over here, this is about the angle that I'll be shooting my testing videos from. Something kind of like this. And you can see it gives it more of a, a better look than just having all the harsh brightness. So we're gonna turn that light back on though. So that's what those lights are. They were, I don't know, 30 bucks or so for a pair of those. The monitors, these are triple 32-inch 1440p 144 hertz Westinghouse gaming monitors. They were about $300 a piece, I think. They even have some RGB in the back. They say RGB, but it's basically red, green, or blue. You can pick and choose which of those three colors you want. I like blue, so they're blue. And by default, they were blue out of the package, and I didn't feel like changing them. The triple monitor stand is just some 40 series profile. I bought two 4-foot sections, that's these uprights. And then I bought three 3-foot sections, one that goes across the middle, and two that make up the legs, one on each side. Bought some corner brackets, and then I bought some extendable, adjustable TV mounts, these guys. And then I had to fix them because the ones they sent me were too short. They were supposed to be 16.5-inch length. They sent me 13. So I just removed the one arm that was with it. Took this piece of 1-inch square aluminum, because this is a 1-inch thick diameter, so I just bought a 1-inch square thick of aluminum at Lowe's, cut it off, added about 10 inches, just hacked it with a hand grinder, didn't really put a lot of effort into it. Bolted it back together, and now it actually will hold the monitors at the correct angle and so forth. Now there's still some little, I don't know the best way to do this. I've seen some people overlap their bezels kind of like this, so when you're sitting down, you only see, one bezel width instead of two side by side. I'm not sure which way is the best way to do it, so I'm just kind of toying right now. But right now it doesn't matter a ton. And again, I'll get to that. The other thing I added were, if you can see it down here, speakers. There's one there. You might have seen the one behind the keyboard tray, and this big old subwoofer down there. I don't even remember who makes them. It's like Schlicht or some weird thing. Nope, Licht something. I don't know. It's Clips. Friggin'. It's something. But I bought them from local Walmart. They were $90, I think, and it was for a general multimedia system. It's quite loud. And what I did to mount them is I actually just took these speaker brackets. Now these speaker brackets, from underneath, you can actually remove a bolt that's holding this bracket on, and it gives you a 1/4-20 thread you could actually mount on tripod stands. But in my case, you can see in here, this is actually slotted. Well, up in the top part of the slot is a hole that's just big enough for an M8 bolt. So I bolted them to the stands. And it's kind of low enough and out of the way, but still facing forward. I've kind of fiddled with where to put them. I wasn't sure exactly where, so that's just where they ended up. Okay, so triple monitor parts, we'll get to that. Again, this is running an MSI 66, nope. So I have an MSI GS66 laptop that has one HDMI output, a Thunderbolt output, a USB-C, 3 USB ports. I needed more USB ports, but I needed more monitors. Eventually I wanted to build an actual desktop to power 3 monitors, but I decided to give this thing a shot. So this thing is this little box right here. This pluggable box with fuzzies on it. Right now it's just zip tied to the top, but what this does is this actually is running off of the Thunderbolt 3 connection off of my laptop, which is this cable right here. That's the reason there's not a whole lot of cable management done yet either, is because I didn't know if it was even going to work. And then you'll see 1, 2, 3 HDMI outputs. I have plenty of HDMI cables. Someday I will, when I get my actual desktop built, I will buy another one of these matching braided cables. These Syntec braided HDMI cables, and actually run them proper. But for now, this is how it's run. So Thunderbolt connection comes in, 3 HDMIs out. This is the power for the unit. And then I've got some extra USB ports. I've got 4 ports on the back, plus 2 on the front, plus, I still got the 3 on the laptop, which is handy because I needed USB for the keyboard. I needed a USB port to plug in the tablet, although that's more for power because I was going to try to use it as a streaming button box via USB, but apparently running this as a USB connection, it says it needs to be in tether mode, and it doesn't seem to want to go into tether mode. It might not even have tether mode, I don't know. So right now it's running on the Wi-Fi. Normally that's not a problem, but I'm having modem issues and things are randomly disconnecting all the time. That's really annoying. So that's that. But back to the monitor thing. So let me grab my mouse and we're going to kind of look at the monitors here real quick. Let me minimize this. My mouse stopped. There we go. So as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3 monitors. I even found one of them fancy wraparound backgrounds. What we're going to do is we're just going to bring up the couple panels. We'll bring up the control panel from NVIDIA. And you see this only shows one single display on a display port. Well, that's not what we're using. So this does nothing. So we cannot use the configure surround option in NVIDIA. That's a downfall. Set up multiple displays, it only sees one. So let's go ahead and open up our regular display settings, which, as luck would have it, is on a completely different monitor. So let's drag it over here. And as you can see, you can drag and drop all the way across. These triple monitors actually do work. There is one hiccup to this, but as you can see, whoops, let's maximize this. If we identify our monitors, you'll see 1, 2, 3. Well, it disappeared, but I promise 3's over here. There it is. So they're made up here. The other thing you'll notice is my display resolution, 1920 by 1080, which isn't what these monitors supports. But let's go down to advanced display settings so we can see our 3 monitors. So here's monitor 1, that's the one in the middle. Display 2, no monitor. Well, that's weird because it's right there. Display 3, also right here. So display 3, 1920 by 1080, 60 hertz. Display 2, 1920 by 1080 by 60 hertz. Display 1, 2560 by 1440 by 60 hertz. Well, no, that's not right. These are all supposed to be 1080 at 60 hertz. And the reason for this is because this pluggable adapter strapped to the rig will only support the 2 and 3 monitors at 60 hertz. But the main output number 1, is almost like a pass-through from your actual video card through your laptop. So you can actually get, believe it or not, up to 4K at 30 hertz out of that one display port if your monitor and everything supports it. In my case, 2560 by 1440 is the maximum resolution, but it's obviously going to push that. And it would push the full 144 hertz too. But it doesn't work if we're going to have 3 monitors as a triple monitor setup with 3 different resolutions. So now the other thing you'll see is monitor number 1, you can see it display 1 connected to the GeForce RTX 2070. Monitor 2 and monitor 3 connected to pluggable device. That's because monitors 2 and 3 are using DisplayLink technology, and I don't even know what that is, but that's what it's using to get monitors 2 and 3 to work at the same time. Our problem is we need to reset our settings for adapter number 1. That's this guy right here. We can't run this at 25 by 1440. We need to run this by 1080. And ironically, it shows 1920 by 1080 selected. So it's kind of like it's confused sometimes with how it sees it. Now what we're actually going to run is 1920 by 1080, but we're going to crank up. Where did our 1920 by 1080s go? There they are. We're actually going to crank up the center monitor, monitor number 1, to 144 hertz. Just like that. The laptop will support it. The pluggable will support the pass-through. see if this reverted now. This always seems to do weird things. Number 1, 1920 by 1080. Advanced display settings. There we go. 1920 by 1080 at 143 hertz. Monitor number 2, 1920 at 60. Display 3, 1920 1080 by 60. So now we are all set as far as that goes. The reason being is monitor number 1, this is the monitor you're staring at. This is the one you're driving and you're focused on more than anything else. This is the one I want to be as smooth as possible. The ones on the side are your peripheral vision. Yes, you're going to be peeking left and right into your apexes and stuff, but that's not, you don't drive by looking out your side windows. You drive by looking ahead. So I wanted to see if that would cause any problems. When people say you were running triple monitors, they tell you to run as close to identical as you can on all of them. Now, you would expect refresh rate would be a big problem with that. Now, the reason that this is not ideal is right now, everything I've shown you looks fine. Lower refresh rates, only 60 hertz and only 1080, and on a 32-inch screen, maybe that's not quite as sharp looking. I get it. I really do. But in a moment, when this loads up, I'm going to show you why this is not an ideal solution for gaming. This solution will work wonderful for productivity, multiple windows, watching a movie on one and working on another or whatever. But for gaming, it does not work quite as well as you would hope. Physically, it does work, but not ideal. The desktop build is still in the planning stages. At this point, things need to come back in stock so I can hurry up, mainly video cards. But we're going to come down, we're going to sit in the seat, just like so. All right, so we are now sitting in our seat. And everything lines up pretty well. I did actually get most of this stuff lined up pretty close. We've got the speakers going right now. Just like that. However, I want you to watch, we're going to focus on this over here. Now, obviously, this is a little, from where you're seeing, you see the disconnect, but from where I'm sitting, it's more like this, where there's not such a break. But I want you to just watch this anyway, and watch the correlation between both monitors as I drive. You can see it already, how there's a tiny bit of a delay. So monitor 1, the first monitor, hits a bump, and then the external monitors, well, ooh, perfect. We've got these boards on the track. We're going to watch over here now. Ready? You see how jerky that looks? Monitor 1 hits it, and then the outside monitors have a delay. Yep, that's what the problem is. Back out here. So yes, that's why. Because for some reason, this thing's not built to run gaming. So even though the card can support it, even though this adapter physically works, it's not ideal when you're going from a monitor pass-through and then these display-linked adapter monitors. They're just not quite in sync. Multiple window supports you would never notice. Even I've tried moving windows up and down in it, you don't really notice. But in a game, it does. Now, you may think that it was that whole center is at 144 and the others are 60. It doesn't matter. Settings do not have any effect on it. It does it no matter what. But anyway, so that's how it works, and I just wanted to kind of go through that a little bit. The rest of it, again, I mean, I did buy a frame for my first win plaque from a couple months from back in, actually it was New Year's Eve I won my first race ever in iRacing. It's just the Mazda Cup, so don't get too excited. But that's about it. So that's the room. It's very small for now, and there'll be a follow-up video, not of this room, but of what's coming sometime. But that's how I've got it set up. I haven't actually run any competitive races yet because I'm still getting used to it. believe it or not, it's a big jump going from just a single ultra-wide monitor to having monitors on the side. So what we're going to do is I'm going to finish this video, but then we're going to jump in, now that we're on track, and we're going to do some hot laps around Daytona, and maybe we'll even actually jump in a race just to see how it goes.